travelers. Thank you for joining this moment in time where we gather across time and space, wherever you are, whenever you are, you're here with us now. This present moment, as we call it. Oh! The wind's starting to pick up. Some of you might have noticed that the weather shifts at times with these episodes. When I say certain things, you might see the wind pick up in the background, and I have a friend who literally steered the tornado, Alasa. I've spoken many times of her. It's a beautiful story. I feel I'll need to ask her to come and share that story with you all from her own words. So, along those same lines, David Adair was mentioning in a video the other day that I was watching that one of the superiors in the Navy, when he was working in the Office of Naval Intelligence, he said, asked the secretaries, why do you all have all these paperweights when David comes in? And they say, every time he comes in, the winds start coming and all the papers blow all around. So that they had learned to put the paperweights on, but they only did it when he came in, and it was just hilarious. But I have friends that are like this, and you know, I might have even just told this story very recently. I've told it to a number of friends, so it might be the second time you're hearing it, but I just find it really intriguing, and it does connect to what Dan Winter says, that the Christ consciousness is, if we want to look at it in terms of electrical energy and put all the religion aside, put anything that you might associate with that name. You could say the word Christos, Krishna, Karayasatahala, crystalline. There's not, you know, words can take many forms, so let's let go of certain variables that have certain definitions, like we talk about in the programming sense. And, you know, I say plenty of times the crystalline consciousness. So if we look at this crystalline consciousness, aka Christ consciousness, Krishna consciousness, what Dan shares, which resonates with me, Dan Winter, is that when we have a very strong consciousness, meaning we can get that tip of our vortex, the centripetal force, extremely strong, meaning that is a large energetic vortex where massive amounts of energy, information are flowing to a single point of Planck, the tiniest unit of measurement in our universe, which each one of us is doing every moment of every day. Our ability for that tip of our own vortex to have a very strong centripetal force means that we are able then simultaneously to make ourselves very small, very humble, knowing we're just a speck of this infinite beautiful creation. And then simultaneously that is tied to our ability to make our energy very large, because that strong centripetal force in the center point, so where we're connected to Source Creator, the scalar engine of the heart, can then generate massive amounts of plasma to embed with the entire energy field around us, entire creation, all of the universe, all of the light in your body is reaching the edge of the universe all the time, every day, no matter what. It's feeling into that. It's waking up to the remembrance of that fact, of the unity with the whole, and then it allows us to remember ourselves as a true, tiny, little, authentic speck of God, source, love, whatever word, the quantum field, whichever word you'd like to use. So I hope that gives you sort of an overview of what we're trying to achieve here with the concept of ensoulment and helping hold space for others to have the plasma vortex of each of our souls strongly vortexing down, all the way down here. And now phase conjugation, like I mentioned in an earlier video when I was first starting this channel, going through definitions related to phase conjugate physics. Phase conjugation means that as a plasma vortex comes down, and the heart being a scalar engine that is phase conjugate, the body's phase conjugate nature. The DNA is so much about our biology. That plasma vortexes in as strong as it comes in, it's going to vortex back out with the equal strength, because phase conjugation is like a perfect mirror. Like this video actually is for me in a certain sense. It's not perfect. Phase conjugation is a perfect mirror. What comes out is exactly what goes in. But mirrors have properties, and that's why I think I did mention recently, one of the things I look forward to doing is putting different phase conjugate coatings that I just intuitively, naturally, from what I learned about science, just feel called to just experiment and play with the alchemy. Many of us are alchemists, just remembering who we are and our capabilities. So, on to the next show and tells. I've been going through a lot of old notes and artwork, and this is one that I had made. I want to say Mount Shasta, or it might have been Colorado, somewhere out west. So I hope you all enjoyed that. And then I'm gonna start having some water here. My mouth can get a little bit dry when I talk, but yeah, going through these notes, I found a drawing that's very meaningful to me. I've been finding some gems as I let go of information that is ready to move on, and I, take another look at things that I created in the past and remember how meaningful they are for me. So this is a drawing that I did. And so here you finally get a much better visual. I have described this probably a few times on the channel, but this is a visual. So here we have the Vetruvian woman, you could say. Leonardo da Vinci did a famous drawing, the Vetruvian man, where he shows the human form in sort of this five-pointed star configuration that we all have represented in us, our star. We're showing that we're a star, basically, or that we have our own star, So, in our hearts, connected through this portal to our, you can visualize a physical star that each of one of us is connected to through our hearts. So anyway, but this is, again, so I'll just go over the mechanics and another reason I'm bringing this up now, I did have, let me put this back up. Let's see if the wind comes and knocks it down again. So I've had this painting that I did show you all hanging in my room, and it's the one painting that didn't go through the portal last winter. I had a number of paintings and things that you could say went through a portal. So this is the one painting that remained, and I was delighted that this painting remained because it's helping guide me forward in my artwork and what I want to share and teach and how I want to learn and grow together with you all. So I said, I've been wanting to improve on my lucid dreaming, astral travel, my ability to be a shareable wave, be operating from unconditional love to the point that as I exit my body at night, enter the astral realm, the fourth dimension, fourth plane, some people call it, that I remain fully myself and recognizable to others, and can come back into my body and remember who I was, where I was, what I did, the messages I received. And I got, this continues to come up for a few really good reasons. Coming back to David Adair, and just what a delightful soul he is and how much incredibly beautiful wisdom he has to share. He was talking about when he was young, the way this whole path started for him in science and technology and building rockets. He started to get dreams when he was young, the formulas, but he couldn't remember them. And he told his mom about it, and she helped set him up with a notepad and a pen, and she figured out a way to turn on the light by adjusting the wires and cutting the wires in a certain way to where he could just touch the lamp. Before that technology had ever been invented, his mom had found out how to do it. So she gets him set up. We'll just keep that there for now. She gets him set up, and he starts writing down the formulas as they're coming through in his dreams. And a lot of things happen in between, but while he was, I think, still just about 17, he met Stephen Hawking. Really wanted to meet him, and they were discussing, when they were talking about it, and Stephen asked him how he got his ideas, he told him that they came through dreams. And Stephen Hawking told him in that moment that that's how he got the information as well. So here we have some of the most brilliant, and again, David Adair is one of the most credentialed people you could ever find in this field. So his weight, the weight of his words have a depth to them that is phenomenal. So and Stephen Hawking as well. His name is quite well known as being a genius. This is pretty common knowledge. In America, for sure, at least. And so these incredible geniuses in math and science are saying they get the information through dreams. Wow, okay. Maybe we take our own dreams a little more seriously then, to see what is it that we're being called to learn, and how are we being called to grow from our own, consciousness. So bringing this back up, as I've shared with people visions of flying in a spacecraft that looks like this, where I can fly upright in the 5-star, Vetruvian woman position, you could say, or I can be more reclined, and then it's a horizontal, where the ship is horizontal, right? So if I'm active, and it's basically an energy dance, and the ship is still using my consciousness, because a lot of these craft, the human consciousness pairing with the ship consciousness, and I detailed this in one of my earlier videos about my experiences with extraterrestrials. You can go back and watch that if you want to hear the full story of my experience, my memory of being in the cosmos in a craft. My consciousness connected directly to the ship, and then it uses your thought form of thinking of where and when you want to go. And my memory came back. I knew this immediately, and this was quite obvious to me, and it was clear to me in this arm of the star ship that I've been designing in my mind's eye, or just seeing it. It's really just seeing what's already there. It's basically memories, and whether it's past, present, or future is sort of irrelevant, because all time is now. So we're stepping into this quantum oneness field, quantum now time, where everything's happening now, and we can move through time and space, we can affect events from the past and future at ease. We're not limited to a static flow of time that's fixed, like we've gotten accustomed to here on Earth. So anyway, back to traveling in our spaceships, because each one of us is in our own craft at all times, and you could think of that as, again, as the ship of our own consciousness, traveling through the spheres of the many world lines, which are just these infinite spheres available to us, and as we make different choices, it branches off in different directions. But we can, like I was sort of alluding to just now, this idea of working with time, we can loop back through, see a choice that we made in the past, knowing that with the information we have now, we would have chosen another path. That allows us to reconnect with other timelines that were not available to us while we had still in our mind's eye in the past made a certain choice. John Archibald Wheeler's work, supported by Feynman and supported by actual test results, shows that from a future point in time, we can choose the path that the particles took in the past. So, with the motorcycle revving to support that statement. So this is my craft, and I'm going to work better to travel in my craft etherically during my meditations, because again, it's all available to us now, and at times I would get frustrated. I really just wish I had the lab and the people and the expertise and the materials and the support, and because I know it's all here on Earth, and I'm like, oh, can I please just have access to all that fun stuff so I can build some fun toys? And can I just get the help I need to do it? But, I wouldn't really learn and grow if everyone was like, oh, here, do this, and they were just telling me what to do and showing me. It's like, where's the growth? Where's the learning? What did I achieve? So really, stepping into, well, what can I do now? Which is what led me to start building the tetrahedrons. And, I also thought it was interesting, I wanted to point out regarding the tetrahedron, because from this angle, the two-dimensional triangle that is sort of dominantly visible is a downward facing triangle. And to me it seems like it's collecting the heavens' energies and information, ancestors, spirit guides, our higher self, which is our future self, galactic friends that want to support us here on Earth. You know, from that two-dimensional viewpoint, it's a receptacle. My body is viewed as a receptacle from this point of view that you can see. But from my perspective, when I look up, I see the top of the tetrahedron. And so it's like, I like to think that I'm taking Earth perspectives, Earth wisdom, Earth knowledge, and equally funneling it up as we are vessels where the planetary energy is expressing itself through us. And earlier just now I was connecting with the heart of the Earth. I connected first with the heart of the Sun, but then shortly after I felt really called to connect to the heart of the Earth, to where I was really, you know, my hands were down on the ground and my feet, and just honoring the consciousness that our bodies are really a part of. And you hear stories of people that have traveled elsewhere and what that feels like, astronauts for example, that they immediately like feel something different, and it's like they realize how precious that feeling is, to be enveloped in this beautiful Earth energy that this consciousness of this planet basically allowed us to come in to her consciousness, or his, her. It's all, you know, obviously there's male and female aspects of the planet Earth, but, you know, this planet is allowing us to be here to learn our lessons and grow, so that as we grow and become wise, we can really help the planet embody a more beautiful heaven in every moment. So with this painting, I've got a lizard hanging out, you see? Came to say hi. There've been a lot of them around here lately, but they're quite delightful. So I shared this, and I'm feeling called to, okay, so I have this hanging in the room where I've been sleeping. I put it there a couple nights ago, and I said, okay, now that I've been wanting to astral travel more, and I put a notebook with a pen beside the bed. Again, just being inspired by David Adair and his mother supporting him, and I know from many people that when we can write it immediately after it happens, when we wake up, we have much better recall. So I put it there, and the first night after, I had a moment where I was lucid dreaming, and I had a vision of myself reaching out with the pen and holding the pen with the notebook and still being asleep and writing it down. And it was so interesting because it was a lucid dream of the activity itself. Maybe it was me confirming, yes, this is very important. Then I used the notebook for something else, and it ran out of paper, and I didn't have it last night. But I'm encouraging you all, if you're interested in increasing your lucid dreaming skills, which is very intertwined with astral travel skills, I'm going to put this by my bed tonight, alright? And my goal is to write at least one thing, whether it's waking up upon rising, or it might be in the middle of the night, when it, you know, right after something happens. So that action that we take really demonstrates our seriousness to a certain activity. And then I just felt like having this in the room, I was like, because going through these experiences and just feeling like, wow, this is so meaningful to me, and having had dream visions of this, you know, meditations and seeing it in my dreams, where it felt like a hallway, like you picture kind of a rectangular hallway. that's just an infinite hall with infinite doors on the sides, like almost like the Akashic Records, I would say, most likely. So upon rising today, my eye went to it, and I was still in that sleep state, which I'm pretty sure they say it's like we have a lot of theta waves. Someone, if you know it's otherwise, please put something in the comments, but we wake up in this sleep state where our brain is sort of still kind of in that in-between of sleeping and resting and dreaming and waking. And so my eye went to the painting, and I felt that deep inner peace, and I felt myself go from waking but sort of directly into a meditative state to where it felt like it was helping me transition to a waking state. And it felt like I was being called, whether it's from my own self or it was like, felt like the painting was calling me in a sense, but it's like maybe my own self calling me through the painting to teach you all how to draw and paint this yourselves. Because this painting is becoming more meaningful as I'm preparing to start offering my services, such as teaching people how to make their own sacred geometric art, and getting ready to teach the introduction to phase conjugate physics and the physics of ensoulment and things like that, wanting to really offer my services. And this painting, being something that I want to offer to people as a way for us all to learn and grow together. I'd like to teach you all via a tutorial. I haven't done any of those tutorials in a while. So anyway, that about wraps it up. I'd like to maybe just do a short meditation. Obviously, it's up to you whether you want to stick around for that or not. But and in my future meditations, I am going to be flying in my craft, because again, we can access experiences now. Any experience our mind can come up with. We just sit in a quiet place, might have some calm meditative music, like this song is been a favorite lately. It's actually a Greek artist named Vangelis, and he did the sound. It's from the soundtrack of the original Blade Runner movie, which is one of my dad's favorite movies, and we watched frequently growing up, and it's a quite a futuristic intergalactic story of its own. So you might have some quiet, beautiful meditative music that you put on in an area where you're not going to have your phone, you won't be disturbed. Or if you have your phone, it's in airplane mode with all the, as much of the frequencies turned off as you can of the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi or the 5G and whatnot. And these are just ideas. Obviously, just find whatever works for you to help you be in a calm, meditative state. Whether you're sitting upright or you're lying comfortably on your couch, but to where you can stay awake. There's a myriad of ways of doing it. So yeah, let's just go into meditation, and that will, I feel, wrap it up. I can really quick share this as a beautiful image from Walter Russell's work, where he's showing everything connected through spirals. But you have male and female energy there in the middle, and on the outer edges you have all of the elements and showing the relations between different elements and all this sort of fun stuff. So I'm not going to go through that at this moment. I might print out a bigger version. This one's hard challenge to read. But alright, so let's just go and close it out with this. I'll just hold it here. Let's see, let me adjust. More comfortably hold it for you all. Okay, I'm gonna hold it like over my heart. How's that? And I'm also gonna adjust it this way so that you all get the okay, so feeling the authentic pixel of consciousness that you are in your heart as a divine spark of the one single creator. feel that tiny little particle that is Planck length in diameter. If you want to see a sphere that is Planck length, the tiniest unit of measurement available in the universe, all physics uses Planck as the base unit. It's like the musical time signature of our universe. Think of infinite parallel universes can have their own dimension for Planck, and that would be a really great way to construct infinite universes that all use golden ratio to describe the relation between the fractality. However, having the base unit different in other dimensions or other universes, however it may work, helps us uncover how there could be multiple infinite universes, many worlds, almost interlaid with one another and embedded into one another, but existing as unique realms. So coming back to our unique realm of our own single consciousness, let's locate the focal tip of the vortex of our single consciousness in our hearts and locate that portal to source creation. That sparkling little rainbow pixel that is the authentic you, that is the authentic I, authentic selves. And we can make that pixel just feel how tiny it is. It's very, 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 very tiny. Now, simultaneously, while we're feeling how tiny we are, as this tiny little pixel, we simultaneously can feel how our energy extends all the way to the edges of the universe. And how big we are. It's, while simultaneously being very, very tiny, we exist in what feels like a hugely large space of the universe. All the galaxies, all the solar systems, all the stars, planets, humans, extraterrestrials, animals, plants, everything. Feeling present in this now moment, knowing that all is perfect in every moment, stitched together. And we are traveling through the sine wave of our consciousness through whichever path of spheres that we choose to take. And at any point we can shift direction and adjust our path towards a different peak. For scaling mountains, we can take a different path at any time. Sometimes we don't always follow the path that we laid out for ourselves. We may get halfway up and see that we want to go a different route. There's zero judgment in all of it. Alright, so I'd like to do longer meditations in the future, but I figured since this is the first time, just keep it light, keep it simple. That's a meditation sort of that, you know, together with hearing wisdom from others and hearing things along the same lines, I sort of came to that as sort of a refined version of my version of how to, one way that we can use meditation and these ideas to embed with the whole electrical array. And again, coming back to Christ consciousness and what that is, crystalline consciousness, Krishna consciousness, it's having a strong impact on the field of electrical charge around us. And we enhance our ability to do that. We enhance our ability to lucid dream, astral travel, to be a pure vessel for creation here on planet Earth. So, alright, thank you all for journeying with me in this now moment. Honored that you're here on the planet, or off the planet, wherever you are, whenever you are. Maybe this is being viewed from distant future when we've achieved interstellar travel, and it's quite commonplace. So if I'm speaking to those travelers as well, then what a joy to have you all with us. And there's many more people and beings that are joining us in this now moment, whether we can see them or not. So we thank them all for joining us, and in particular, I thank the scientists at this time, whose spirits I can feel rallying around and feeling delighted that we're doing the work and making these discoveries. And John Archibald Wheeler, I must say, feels like a grandfather to me, because when I play his videos, it's quite calm and soothing and just filled with such deep truths from what he learned from his perspective here on Earth. So if you're ever looking for physics content, which is in the form of fascinating stories, like you're listening to, your great uncle or your grandfather or your father tell stories of the intriguing work that they did. So I'll try to link that in the notes so you all can give it a listen if it calls to you, because I just find him to be a really wonderful soul and a connection to my home state of Maine, where he spent his summers, near where I would spend time. We're really all connected to one another. So there's a lot of beauty in looking for those connections and rejoicing in them, wherever they are and however they may exist. So, all right, thank you, friends. Until next time, may your day be filled with bliss and light and love, or your evening, or your rising, or your afternoon, whichever time you are in this now moment, and we'll talk soon.